Okay, what if I told you that making a massive change in your life doesn't actually require a massive effort? What if all it really took was 5 minutes? That's the simple but really powerful idea we're going to dive into today.
You know the feeling, right? This time will be different. We've all said it. That big surge of motivation hits, and you make this grand promise to yourself. This is the year, this is the month, this is the week. I'm finally going to get it together. So you go all in. You sign up for the gym, you buy all the new gear, you map out this perfect, really ambitious plan, like a full 60-minute workout every single day. And man, it feels great to plan it all out, but then, reality hits. One crazy day at work, maybe a rough night's sleep, and all of a sudden, that huge 60-minute commitment just feels impossible. So what do? You skip it. Just for today, you tell yourself. But then one skipped day turns into a week, and, well, we've all been there. Well, this cycle, this really common cycle of failure, it actually has a name. It's what we call the all or nothing trap. And honestly, it's probably the single biggest reason why most of our grand plans for self-improvement just fizzle out. So here's what it is. It's this belief that if you can't commit to some long, intense, perfect session, then it's just not worth doing anything at all. The bar is set so ridiculously high that on any day that isn't perfect, we end up choosing to do nothing instead of something. And it just kills our momentum before we can even get started. Okay, but what if there was a way to completely escape that trap? A solution that's so simple it's almost silly, one that pretty much sidesteps the need for motivation entirely? Well, there is, and it's called the 5-minute rule. The whole idea here is to lower the barrier to entry so much that it's just impossible to say no. The goal is not intensity. Let me say that again. The goal is not intensity. The goal is consistency. It's about committing to just show up for 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes. That's it. That is the entire commitment. And let's be real, you always have 5 minutes. This isn't about some miracle transformation in a week. This is about fundamentally changing your mindset. Forever. So you might be thinking, okay, but what can I really do in just 5 minutes? Well, a lot, actually. Let's look at 3 super powerful examples for your body, your stress, and your mindset. All right, first up, let's talk about your body. We're going to call this the micro workout. So forget about that hour-long gym session. Think of this as a short, super focused burst of activity. And the best part? You don't need any fancy equipment. You could do as many push-ups as you can. You could hold a plank, do a quick circuit of squats and lunges. Even just running in place with high knees works. Heck, even a brisk walk totally counts. And the research is clear. These short bursts are actually great for your cardiovascular health and for boosting your energy. Seriously, every little bit helps. Okay, next up, let's talk about stress. Now, researchers over at Stanford Medicine, including the neurobiologist Andrew Huberman, have really zeroed in on what might just be the single fastest way we know of to calm your nervous system, like right in the moment. It's called the physiological sigh, and it's so simple. All you do is take 2 sharp inhales through your nose, and then 1 long, slow exhale through your mouth until your lungs are totally empty. That double inhale actually pops open the little air sacs in your lungs, and the long exhale, that's what tells your brain and body, hey, it's time to calm down, now. Just doing that 1 to 3 times can make a huge, immediate difference. And finally, let's talk about your mindset. A super simple 5-minute gratitude habit can totally reframe your entire day, and the effects it can have on your mental health are, well, they're pretty profound. All you have to do is take a moment to either think about or write down 3 things you're genuinely grateful for. When you do this, your brain actually releases dopamine and serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitters. It's such a simple way to start your day on a positive note, and over time, it's been shown to seriously reduce stress and anxiety. All right, so we've covered the what. We have a few good examples. Now let's get into the why. Why is this 5-minute approach so darn effective at creating change that actually sticks? Yeah, this really sums it up perfectly. The all-or-nothing trap, that's like trying to push a giant boulder up a hill. It takes a huge amount of motivation, and that just doesn't last. But the 5-minute rule, it's more like giving a small snowball a gentle nudge at the top of that hill. It starts small, but it builds its own momentum. It doesn't rely on motivation, it creates it. And this gets to the absolute core of how habits are formed.
Think about it like this. Every single time you complete your 5 minutes, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you want to be. A vote for, I am someone who exercises, or I am someone who takes care of my mental health. Repetition, not perfection, is what wires a new habit into your brain.
And you know what? The data really backs this stuff up. It's fascinating. That same study from Stanford actually measured the impact on people's moods. And look at this chart. Just 5 minutes a day of that cyclic sighing we talked about actually improved mood by a lot, even more than 5 minutes of mindfulness meditation. It's just a powerful reminder that these small, targeted actions can have a surprisingly big effect. Okay, so you're probably thinking, I'm ready to start. But how do you actually make this habit stick? Let's break it down into a simple, actionable playbook you can start using, like today. First, pick a time you can control. The easiest way is to anchor your 5 minutes to something you already do every day, like right after you brush your teeth. Next, decide in advance what you're going to do. This gets rid of any hesitation. Then, use triggers. Set a reminder on your phone or leave your yoga mat out where you can see it. And here's a big one. Let it expand, but with no pressure. Some days, 5 minutes might turn into 10 or 20, and that's great, but 5 is the win. Finally, and this is key, track the habit, not the outcome. Focus on building that consistency streak.
Because that's the real victory here. It's not about the numbers on the scale or the reps you can do. Not at first, anyway. It's about building a streak of simply showing up for yourself. It's about proving day after day that you can and will keep a promise to yourself. Look, if there's one single thing you take away from all this, let it be this sentence right here. Progress comes from consistency, not intensity. Those small actions, when you do them over and over, that's where the truly remarkable results come from.
So really, the only question left is, what 5 minutes will you reclaim today? Will you use it for a micro workout, a moment of calm with the physiological sigh, or an act of gratitude? The choice is all yours. The power isn't in going big, it's in starting small.